A massive problem every business owner faces is churn. Leads not buying, clients ghosting, and prospects just don't convert. Not because they weren't interested or didn't have the money, but simply because the timing wasn't right. Here is what is crazy. Bain & Company, the team behind the Net Promoter Score, a metric used to predict business growth, found that around 96% of your market is not ready to buy right now. And the profit from those customers usually shows up 24 to 36 months after the first interaction. This is the secret of why big brands stay big. They sell to everyone at the right time, not just the tiny 3 to 4% that most small businesses chase. And if you don't stay in front of those future buyers or nudge them in some way, you lose them to someone else who does. This is where lead reactivation becomes one of the highest ROI growth levers in business. You're not cold calling strangers. You're simply re-engaging people who've already interacted with your brand at some level. Forbes reports these engaged prospects close at an incredible 60 to 70% compared to just 5 to 20% for new prospects. And today, you don't need a massive sales team to do this manually. With this solution, a trained AI multi-agent system built using n8n, you can automatically reach out, follow up, handle replies or questions, and even book meetings 24/7. This single system delivers one of the highest returns on investment, which is why top creators, agencies, and service businesses use it to turn dormant leads back into real revenue. With that being said, let's get right into the build. Here's how it works. First, it sends a personalized reactivation message. Once the client replies, it follows up automatically and handles requests, like booking an appointment. Finally, it notifies your team about the new sale and update the database. We're building this entire solution inside n8n, which you can host locally or in the cloud. If you'd like a breakdown on setting that up, let me know in the comments. So first, we will need a trigger. We will use a manual trigger for it. Next, we need to pull all the client records from our database. Since we are using Airtable, we're going to use the Airtable tool and the search record operation. However, before you can use it, you need to add credentials. If you want to know how to add the credentials, check out the video on the top right. We need a client database for the campaign to run on. For this demo, I've already created one in Airtable, and you can access it using the link in the description below. The columns in the database are customer ID, first and last name, chat ID. Quick disclaimer, we're using chat IDs because the tool sending messages is Telegram. These chat IDs are fake and only for demonstration. Real client data should always be protected. Email, dog name, last contacted, the last time you interacted with the client. Opt-in, we only send messages to clients who have agreed to receive marketing campaigns. Notes from last interaction. The rest of the columns are empty and are going to be filled by the agent later on to keep track of the campaign. Select the customer demo data table and then filter the table using the opt-in column so that only clients who opted in are included. Now we execute the node. It did not work because Airtable thought true was a column name. To fix it, add brackets after the filter. Now it works. Great. Next, we add an if node to filter the data and make sure all the contact numbers exist. We will also pin the data so we don't have to run that node every single time. To do that, go to the top right corner of the node and click the pin icon. Next, we add the loop over items node, so the solution can handle each customer one at a time and send each customer a personalized message. Set the batch size to 1. Replace the replace me node with an AI agent node. In the agent node, define the system prompt and the user prompt below. Starting with the user prompt, to make it easier and faster, the prompt will be in a document in the description below. So we will just copy the user prompt from there. For the user prompt, we start by giving the data it is going to use to personalize the message, and then the task or role. Next, we add the system prompt. In the system prompt, we start by giving it the information and data used to carry out the task. Then we define the role of the agent and give it some rules it must follow to ensure accuracy. Add the brain of the agent. We will go with OpenAI and use Model 4.1 because it is more stable and reliable. After adding the brain, we need to add the tools this agent can use. The first tool is the Telegram tool used to send out the messages to our clients. To use it, we need to add credentials. To create a new credential, all we need is an access token, and we're going to get this directly from Telegram. Inside of Telegram, you want to search for Botfather And what you do is type / and it gives you the list of all the commands. We click new bot. We will come up with a name for the bot. Let's go with YouTube Telegram demo. Next, create a username and it must end in bot. We will go with client reactivation bot. Once it has successfully been created and you have the access key, we need to copy it into the access token and connect it. Now it's successful. To get the chat ID, first send a message to the bot you just created. Then we will pull it using the Telegram Get Updates API endpoint. Copy the link under Get Your API Chat ID in the document. The link will also be in the description below. Next, open a new tab and paste the link. Replace the Your Token placeholder in the link you just copied with the access token generated by Telegram for your bot. Next, copy your chat ID from the returned data and paste it in the chat ID placeholder. The text will be defined by the agent. We will add the append n8n attribution field to remove the n8n watermark on the message sent. After the agent sends the message, it will update our database. So we will add the Airtable tool and set the operation to update. You will also need credentials to set this up. If you want me to make a video on how to set this up, let me know in the comments. We will select the same record and table. To get the ID schema, we will need to execute previous nodes. Next, match the ID to the customer ID row. However, we will not need to update all the columns. The only columns we will update are status, last message, last contacted, and response status, and they will all be defined by the agent. Add the typecast option to avoid mismatch in data types when sending data. Link the agent to the loop to go through all the records in the database. However, for this demo, we will only go through one, so we do not need to link it back. Now we have successfully completed the first agent in this solution, okay? So the second agent in this multi-agent system will handle all the replies and requests sent from the clients that responded. To do that, we will use a Telegram trigger node on messages. Next, we will use a search record Airtable node. This node will be used to confirm that the reply came from a client in our database and to pull all the information on that client. Then select the right credentials base and table. We can just copy the filter expression, which will also be in the file link. Next, we will add the AI agent. Next, define the user and system prompt. To make it easier and faster, I have pre-made the prompt, so we can copy it from our document. The link will be in the description below. Ensure you replace the unrecognized variables with the right variables in your prompt. We replace the customer message and remove the phone number since we are not using it and it is not required in this demo. In the user prompt, start with customer's message. We first give the AI the exact Telegram message the customer sent. This helps it understand what the customer wants right now. Next, customer data from Airtable. Next, we provide the customer's saved details like name, dog name, email, and notes. This allows the AI to respond in a personalized and accurate way. We then define the AI's task, clearly telling the AI what its job is, to interpret and respond to the messages. Lastly, we define the tool's logic. If the customer wants to book, the AI checks availability and suggests alternatives if needed. Updates Airtable with the latest status and messages. And if the request is unclear, it responds naturally and escalates it for manual review. Next, we add the system prompt. In the system prompt, we first start with time and context setup. This prompt first gives the AI the exact current date, time, and time zone. This helps it correctly understand words like tomorrow, next week, or any date the customer mentions. We define each tool and what it's used for, giving every tool a clear name and examples of when the AI will use it. Finally, we give it all the rules it must follow when using the tools. Next, add the brain. We will use OpenAI chat model. We will go with GPT 4.1 mini as well. Next, add memory, so the agent can remember the last 3 or 5 conversations that happened with each customer. The key we are going to use is the chat ID. Make the context window length 10. Awesome. Now we have gotten the agent set up. We need to give it abilities by using the tools we defined in the prompt earlier. So the tools are grouped into 3 to understand it better. First, to give it booking capabilities, we will use 2 tools. A tool that enables the agent to check if a meeting has been booked. For that, use a Google Calendar tool. You will need to set up your credentials to make this work. Give your tool a name and make sure it matches the name in the prompt. The operation we will use is getMany. We will select a Google Calendar from our list which has been created. We'll let the AI define the limit, before, and after, which controls the range of dates it will look at. The next tool in this category is the tool that will book the meetings. For that, we will add a Google Calendar tool, but this time we will use the create operation. Name the tool, select the same calendar. Let the AI detect start and end time. It's 1 hour, which is defined in the prompt. Next, toggle off the default reminders. Also add the summary and description fields of the event and let the agent define it automatically. Next, we give it email capability. The next two tools are used to notify or escalate. For this, we will use two Gmail tools. The first will be used to notify the internal team that a booking has been made. Use the send operation and send it to one of the internal team emails. The subject will be next booking alert. The email type is text, and we can copy the email template from the document. Make sure you replace any variable that is not recognized with the correct one returned from the database. Before we add the next Gmail tool, name this one Notify Staff. The next Gmail tool is the manual review. This is also sent to a sales team member or customer support to escalate a conversation that is best dealt with by human interaction. Name your tool. This is also going to be a message and a send operation. The email should also go to an internal team member as well. For the subject, we will go with manual review needed. The email type is text. Copy the template in the message text box. Remember to replace the unrecognized nodes with the data from Airtable, depending on how you named your columns. The last capability is follow-up, with both the client and the team by updating the database. To update the database, we use the Airtable tool. For the operation, choose Update. Then select the same base and table we've been using throughout the solution. We match the record ID to the customer ID row and update the following columns: status, last message, last contacted, response status, and booking date to keep everything monitored and up to date. The final tool is the one the agent uses to handle replies from the client. It is going to be a Telegram tool. The operation is send message. We will name it message leads and make sure whatever name you give your tool matches the names in the prompt to prevent the agent from calling the wrong tool. Link the reply tool to the chat ID from the incoming message using the schema, and the text will be generated automatically by the agent. And one last thing. To enable Telegram to reply back and forth, make sure you turn on production mode by activating this workflow. Great. We've now finished building the entire multi-agent system. This is one of the most trackable ROI drivers and one of the biggest time savers you can add to a campaign using AI. Let me know what other automation you would like a tutorial on in the comments. And in the meantime, you can watch one of these two videos over here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.